Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Mount Motor. Thanks for visiting. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change out your brakes. If your brake pads have worn out, I'm going to be teaching you how to replace them with new brake pads. First off, you want to go ahead and grab this tool that came with your scooter. I have two, and this will be really helpful because I'll be able to grab on with the same tool, this axle over here. Alright, if you don't have two of these, use a wrench, alright? Use a wrench for one side and use this tool for the other. Okay? So what we want to go ahead and do, we want to take off this front tire here. So let's go ahead and do that. So when you take out this axle here to remove the front tire, you want to remember where these spacers go because most likely they're going to fall out of place. Alright? So let's go ahead and remove the axle. And notice how I propped my scooter up on a chair. That's going to be really useful. Instead of just sitting down, you know, it might hurt your back. You might want to prop your scooter up on something so that way you'll have a really good angle of everything and it'll just be a lot more comfortable. So right now we're removing the axle. I am removing it right now. That spacer just fell out. Okay, here's my front tire. Okay, and in some cases the bushing inside here, if you don't know what a bushing is, it's pretty much a support system for the axle through the rim. So sometimes you'll have a loose bushing inside. That's just fine. When installing the axle again, you want to just wiggle it a little bit so the axle will move right through the bushing and out through the other end of the rim. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the tire away, front wheel, and let's go ahead and look at these babies right here, our brakes. Okay guys, as you look at my brake pads, you can notice that they're a little bit thin. I have my new brake pads right here and I'm ready to install them, so let's go ahead and do so. Don't forget, these pads are magnetic, alright? There's no screw holding them on, so you can just go ahead and pull them off easily. I have about 3/4 of the life left on these brakes, so I'm not gonna really replace them. I'm just showing you how to take off these brake pads so you know how to replace them. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the old brake pads back on, but I'm going to show you how, okay? Because these two pads are in fact different. One brake pad has one magnetic piece here, and the other one has two magnetic pieces. Alright, so when installing your new brake pads, you want to make sure that the wide side is going up into the arm, alright? Make sure it's not upside down like this. Make sure it's like this, alright? Wide side goes up into the arm. Now there's two arms, one with two hangers, and there's another one with only one. The one brake pad with the cutout for only one hanger obviously goes in that one hanger, okay? You want to push it up until you hear that snapping sound. Until you hear that clicking sound, it's going to snap right into place. Or let the magnet just do the work, it's going to go up by itself. There it is. Okay, just snapped into place. Now I'm going to take the second brake pad and do the same. Wide side up, push it up into the arm, and there you go. You're done. They're both snapped into place, and you can just go ahead and squeeze the brake lever, make sure everything's operating correctly. And now we're ready to install the tire that we just removed. So let's go ahead and do so. So when you take out your tire, your bushing is going to be pretty loose. Disregard that for right now. You want to go ahead and place the tire in its proper spot right now. Make sure the rotor goes right through the disc brake pads, as so. Okay, and let's go ahead and prop the wheel into its place by putting the axle in. Okay, we just want it to stick there. The spacer, the bigger spacer, goes on the side with the brakes. Alright, so let's go ahead and place it there. The smaller spacer we'll worry about later as soon as we prop the wheel into its proper position. But also make sure that as you put the wheel in its proper place, the rotor is supposed to go through the disc brake pads. Don't forget, that's really, really important. It's really tricky. You want to have a lot of patience for this. Okay, I propped it in there. holding the spacer in its place. And I'm going to wiggle the axle through the wheel until the bushing makes up its mind and lets me pass through. So the bushing's not letting me pass the axle through the wheel. I'm going to try and wiggle it some more. Okay, I can see that's not working. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this tool right here, and I'm going to go on the other side of the scooter, and I'm going to try and poke through the rim and straighten out the bushing. That way my axle will be able to go right through the rim here. Let's see if that works. Okay, I'm pushing up the bushing now, and there we go. I think I got my axle through there. There we go. Okay. Alright. Now before you push the axle all the way through the rim, you want to make sure that you take your smaller spacer. Alright? Take your smaller spacer, put it on, just hold it up here on the other side of the rim, push your axle through until it goes through the spacer. Oops. Now if you lose the spacer, you need to go ahead and find it or buy a new one, because you cannot ride these scooters without their given spacers. Otherwise your wheel's going to be moving from side to side and you can have some serious problems. Alright? And now I'm just going to go ahead and push it through the other side of the fork, and I'm ready to put on my my bolt or nut. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it. Okay, now take your tools and tighten the wheel. Okay. Don't forget, you don't ever want to over tighten. As soon as you feel that it's tight, leave it alone. Don't try and force the axle to go through the nut. Otherwise you can bust it and then you're going to have some difficult times there. Alright, it's pretty tight right now. Now before you put the scooter back on the ground, you want to test the brakes, make sure they're operating correctly. So go ahead and spin the tire. Okay? That noise that you hear that it's scraping against the brakes, that's normal, okay? Especially with new brakes. It'll go away over time. Now, as you spin the tire, go ahead and press on the brakes. If it stops immediately, you're in good shape. Now go ahead, while you're pressing down on the brake lever, you want to try and turn the wheel. If it does not turn at a pretty strong force here, then you're good to go. You're ready to ride your scooter. Okay. And don't forget, after each time you ride, you do want to make sure that the axle does not get looser, okay? If you put on a new engine, new tires, new wheels, you always want to make sure for the first couple weeks that your screws stay tight, okay? I actually was cleaning out my other scooter's engine. I had to remove it. And I put it back on and I went riding, and the screws got pretty loose, okay? So the first couple weeks, after about an hour of riding, you do want to tighten your screws. I'm Josh. Thank you so much for visiting Mount Motor. Right now our site's not working, so just visit our YouTube channel. Sorry about that. I'll update you as soon as we have some products on our site. Thank you very much for visiting Mount Motor again, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.